toes down at the start there. Stratford result a win for number 6 Duke of Touraine, second was number 14 Rory Boy, and third was number 1 Tobago Boy. Awesome performance from Irish artists. I thought that will run better next time, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Curragh, we're off.
Way smartly in the centre, also Driving Snow is right up. Thomas Antida towards the inside, moves right up to dispute, and also prominent is Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean, Thomas Antida, double X, and just tacking over is Black Bear Island. These are being followed towards the outside by Partner, and just in behind them is See the Stars, with towards the outside of the leading group is Conry as they straighten up now and race on with less than 5 to go. Thomas Antida, Kevin Manning on the near side of Indian Ocean, on the inside Colm O'Donoghue. Black Bear Island and Conry, double X just in behind. Also close up just behind the leaders, Partner, and they're being followed by Dagger's Bond, who sits in about 6th, and then Driving Snow with just after them is Curl Cat. Towards the outside, Lieberman. They've passed the junction now of the tracks with less than 3 to go. Thomas Antida and Indian Ocean, these two disputing the lead, being followed by Double X, and then Black Bear Island towards the near side, Driving Snow. See the Stars towards the inside, and just after them trying to improve is Fremantle. They're racing now with just over a furlong to go. Thomas Antida from Black Bear Island. On the near side is Driving Snow. Black Bear Island in the centre now, just hits the front. Driving Snow the near side. Thomas Antida, then Fremantle racing inside the last 50 yards. Driving Snow on the near side as they go towards the line. Driving Snow on the near side at Chris Hayes with Black Bear Island. Fremantle and See the Stars close up behind. Thomas Antida will be 5th.
Great finish to our first race here in Oaksay at the Curragh, and Chris Hayes lands the spoils for his retained owner Lady O'Reilly on Driving Snow, and by Kevin Prendergast. Good performance from this colt, who was a neck behind Tomás Antida when making his debut at Gowran Park, but he's comprehensively reversed that form with the benefit of the run under his belt. Good strong drive from Chris to get him home. Tomás Antida always prominent and led the field inside the final quarter of a mile, but only on sufferance really. Looked as though Black Bear Island and the eventual winner were always going to pick him off, and Johnny Murtaugh's horse Fremantle took time to hit top gear. He stayed on really well inside the closing stages. Already looks as though he'll appreciate stepping up to a mile in due course. And the other one that put in good late gains to finish 4th was the half-brother to Galileo. That was See the Stars. Difficult to know whether we will see the Stars, if you like, coming out of that race, but from the betting point of view, the right horses battle-led the finish, and time will tell how strong the form was. Good performance from the winner.
Dylan Secret in, that looks it. And they're off. And Sir Garfield Sober's a little bit slower than the main group. Also slow to stride was Gracchus, and missing the kick was the Bull Hayes. So in the early stages, Ali Aswa has tacked over to lead. See the Stars. Positive Event is close up on the outside. They're a couple of lengths in front into the far turn of Vocalized, and then comes Black Humour with Bangalore Gold towards the inside, beginning now to make the run across the bottom of the track, where Eliaswa leads by 2.5 lengths. 2 in second place, Positive Event. See the Stars, and they're followed by Vocalized with Bangalore Gold and Dark Humour, and then a break of 3 lengths further back to Calm Bay, who's being followed on the run towards the approach to the straight by the Bull Hayes, but it's Ali Aswa and Declan McDonough who lead them towards the straight, being followed by See the Stars. Then comes Positive Event, Vocalized just in behind them, couple of lengths to Black Humour, who's followed by Bangalore Gold, and then the Bull Hayes, and after them is Calm Bay. But into the straight now, beginning the run towards the final furlong, and coming there in the centre, See the Stars and Michael Canaan to head Ali Aswa. They're being followed in 3rd place by Black Humour. Tracking them comes Vocalized as they race now towards the final 200 yards. It's See the Stars who's a couple of lengths in front of in 2nd place Dark Humour, and then staying on towards the outside the Bull Hayes, but up towards the finish See the Stars is going to win it readily in the end for Michael Canaan by about 3 lengths. Second home is Dark Humour, third is the Bull Hayes, and then came Vocalized Ali Aswa. Westford Stakes. All are in. And they're off. Very level breaks. Sawtooth Mountain in the centre, showing just in the lead, with on the outside Moraine. They race on about 3 lengths clear of See the Stars, with Recharge on the outside. And they're being followed by Hail Caesar on the inside, with Master of the Horse, as they make the run across the top of the track. Where going along in the lead is Sawtooth Mountain, followed in second place by Moraine. They're being followed 2 lengths further back by See the Stars, who's towards the inside of Recharge. And then following them, Hail Caesar and Master of the Horse, as they race downhill now to the halfway point.
Hello, Minnie, I've got Richard Hughes lined up immediately after this race.
We're going along in front is Sawtooth Mountain and Pat Smullen, being tracked by Moraine, Fran Berry. Then comes See the Stars, Michael Cannan on the inside of Recharge. Chris Hayes with Hail Caesar, Shamie Heffernan, and Master of the Horse, Johnny Murtha. As they approach the turn in now, they've got just over 3 to go. Sawtooth Mountain in front, followed by Moraine. Then comes Recharge, with on the inside See the Stars, Master of the Horse, and Hail Caesar. Straightening up for home now, 2.5 to go. And it's Sawtooth Mountain now being taken on by Moraine. Recharge and See the Stars comes next. Then Master of the Horse in the centre of the track. They race down to the final furlong now. It's Moraine over on the far side from See the Stars. Recharge, and on the outside Master of the Horse. Inside the last 100 yards now. Moraine pressed by See the Stars on the outside. Master of the Horse between them. Recharge. It is See the Stars now who's just the leader as they go towards the line. See the Stars wins it for Michael Cannan. Close second, Moraine and Master of the Horse. Fourth will be Recharge.
Best looking horse in the field for me was See the Stars. Whether he's quite ready for today, I'm not sure, but he's a lovely horse with probably the best pedigree as a half-brother to Galileo, Black Sam Bellamy, and any amount of other smart performers.
Yeah, he is, you think, bred to say. I mean, a good run here you'd think would see him shorten up for the Derby. He looks fantastic. He's a big, lengthy, scopy type of animal, and he looks in fantastic condition. The ground hopefully will be okay for him. We don't know. He improved race by race last year, ending with a good win in the Group 3. And again, John Ox had more than one option here, and this is his chosen. And he like Evasive, he could not look better.
Michael Cannan takes the ride for John Ox. Of course, when he was with Ballydoyle, he won the race on King of Kings in '98 and Entrepreneur in '97, and he also won the race in 1990 aboard the Richard Hannon-trained Tyrrell. So Michael Cannan seeking his 5th victory in the 2000 Guineas from stall 1, which could be a troublesome spot.
Be interesting. We talked earlier about the pace, and there's no obvious pace. Maybe Ocean's Minstrel, maybe Gonauris.
It was a lively market when we last looked. I'm sure it is now. The opening classic of the season is moments away. Here's Lydia.
Are drifting, particularly Master Craftsman on the exchanges, who's more than 9 to 1 there. Delegator 7 to 2 favourite, he's holding his prize. Rip Van Winkle 9 to 2, Evasive 13 to 2, Master Craftsman 7 to 1, 15 to 2 Gonauris, 8 to 1 See the Stars, 14 to 1 Bar.
Final thoughts, Steve?
Well, final thoughts, like I said before, I think it is a wide open race. I think there's 8 or 10 of these within a few pounds of each other. Let's hope we get a clean run race. Will they split? We've got a horse, we think, from Gonauris who might make the run in from the outside, and you've got a low drawn runner, Ocean Minstrel, but there's no certainty of pace, and jockeys will have decisions to make.
Last few going forward now for the StanJames.com 2,000 guineas. Ocean's Minstrel, the big outsider. Finjan, who got quite worked up beforehand.
Sweating a lot. He was really sweating. He was a bit of a negative. An imperial guest, and one of the outsiders was beside himself as well.
Lord Shannakill will be the last. It's the StanJames.com 2,000 guineas, the 201st running. Your big race commentator is Jim McGrath.
They're ready, set for the guineas, and they're racing. Good even dispatch to one of the first away. Imperial Guest got quickly into stride. Also up there in the early stages is Ocean's Minstrel, who's showing plenty of dash, and just behind them See the Stars on the near side. Evasive began well and leading them up the centre from Master Craftsman, and further back then Guineas, who's not that far away. Then Ukbar is right over on the far rail, but on the near side it's one of the outsiders, Ocean Minstrel, who takes them along here from Finjan. A little bit wider out then as Master Craftsman. Evasive is right there in the centre, blue cap. Guineas is over on the far side in company there with Ukbar. Just behind the leading group on the near side is See the Stars. Lake Shannakill, Rip Van Winkle is held up. There right in the centre too is Monitor closely. Pure Poetry and Delegator is weighted with over on the far side. He's absolutely cruising at the moment as they come up past halfway. Evasive in the centre strikes the lead now from Guineas. They're followed then by Ocean's Minstrel. Finjan is flat to the boards. Further back, Master Craftsman called on for an effort. Then Ukbar on the far side. Delegator is now produced as well as they race past the bushes in the guineas, and See the Stars is running on well. It's Evasive in front. He's starting to wander. See the Stars racing to him on the near side, and Delegator on the far side has raced through as well. Delegator takes it up clearly now. See the Stars comes at him. They settle down to fight it out as they hit the rising ground. Delegator and See the Stars. See the Stars going home slightly the better, and See the Stars wins the guineas for John Ox and Mick Cannan. Delegator second, tight third, Guineas and Rip Van Winkle in a photo there.
Real class from See the Stars. It's in his breeding. He's a half-brother to Galileo, the brilliant Galileo, and he's out of an ARC winner, and now he has a classic of his own. 8-1, See the Stars wins the 2,000 guineas on his seasonal debut. For trainer John Ox and jockey Mick Cannan, it is his 4th win in this prestigious race. Delegator has given everything, has run a blinder, has been delivered with a perfectly timed challenge, but has found one, and just one, too good to blunt his brilliance today. A 3-year-old colt, the greatest horse race in the world, and as we said at the beginning of the programme and a few moments before the race, a fitting tribute to the legacy laid down by the great Dr. Vincent O'Brien, whose memory is being honoured by the wearing of black armbands on the part of all the jockeys today. 9-4 Fame and Glory, 11-4 See the Stars, the Guineas winner, bidding to do what Nashwan did 20 years ago to the day. Rip Van Winkle is 13-2, 7 Black Bear Island, Guineas is 8-1, and 16-1 Master of the Horse. It's a 12-strong field, and one man is responsible for 6 of them, and superstition or otherwise, he's got the mobile phone glued to the right ear. That's one short price favourite home. Will Fame and Glory be another one for the Ballydoyle team? Will See the Stars emulate Nashwan? Has Murta, against the odds, got it right? Can Bolger do it again for the 2nd consecutive year? We'll find out now. Joint favourites on the exchanges, See the Stars and Fame and Glory. The Investec Derby 2009 is nearly upon us. 2 left. Your big race commentator is Richard Hoyles.
Thanks, Nick. Last couple being bugled in. Kitewood the last for the Investec Derby. They are all in and they're off and racing. 1.5 miles in front of the field, and Kitewood is one of the first to show, along with the white face of Golden Sword. See the Stars is handy. Guineas is also racing quite prominently as well, just ahead of the white face of Aged Aquarius as they make their way through at what appears just a steady pace through the first couple of furlongs. And still on the front end, Golden Sword by a length and a half from Age of Aquarius, racing in second place. Carricked Wood races in third. Gonaris racing in fourth place, the white jacket from See the Stars as they try to find a racing pattern. Montaf is in sixth, Fame and Glory in the purple in seventh on the outside of Debussy as they steadily climb the hill. Behind these, Rip Van Winkle has about a 3 behind at this stage. They include Crowded House and Master of the Horse as Golden Sword establishing a little bit of a break in company as well with Age of Aquarius. They've pressed about 8 lengths clear now of Kite Wood, but the pace does still not seem frantic as they pass the mile. See the Stars is into fourth place, just ahead of Montaf. Gonaris has just drifted back in the field, racing now on the outside of Fame and Glory. Debussy going up the rails. Rip Van Winkle in the dark blue from Black Bear Island in the pink jacket, and still towards the rear of the field Master of the Horse and Crowded House. So it's Golden Sword who'll begin the turn downhill, leading by about 2 lengths from Age of Aquarius in second place. See the Stars yellow jacket is prominent in the chasing group, racing on the inside of Kite Wood. Debussy and Fame and Glory are the next pair with Montaf, then Rip Van Winkle on the inside of Gonaris, who's in midfield now. The pink jacket of Black Bear Island as they begin now this steady descent towards Tattenham Corner. It's Golden Sword for the first time, just encouraged along to go a shade faster. Age of Aquarius in second. They still have a break of 6 lengths over Kite Wood and See the Stars, who will corner in third and fourth places. Towards the outside, Gonaris is being furiously ridden on the outer of Montaf. Fame and Glory still goes okay in fifth place. Golden Sword kicks for home, and now the Derby is up for grabs, passing the 3. It's Golden Sword who leads from Age of Aquarius. See the Stars, the yellow jacket, Fame and Glory ridden along. Kite Wood fades away. Rip Van Winkle tries to close. Golden Sword on the front end leads, passing the 2. See the Stars in the yellow colours, and Fame and Glory are out after the leader. Then Age of Aquarius, Rip Van Winkle. Golden Sword being gathered in by See the Stars. Now the stamina questions will be answered inside the final furlong. See the Stars from Fame and Glory. Rip Van Winkle late on the scene down the outside. See the Stars will complete the Guineas and Derby double. See the Stars won the Investec Derby from Fame and Glory, tight for third between Rip Van Winkle, Master of the Horse who charged home, and Golden Sword.
See the Stars, we've seen the Star all right, and he becomes the first horse in 2 decades to win the 2,000 guineas and the Derby. He gives John Ox his second triumph in the race after Sindar. It's another blue ribbon for Mick Kinnan. The horse travelled with pace, with class, with menace, and he overhauled the front-running Golden Sword to go away and win by a decisive enough margin off a steady gallop. Fame and Glory is second, and it is very close indeed for third place between a trio of Ballydoyle runners, Master of the Horse, Rip Van Winkle and Golden Sword. But a triumph for real class, a triumph for the breeding of the thoroughbred. This half-brother to Galileo has emulated his sibling by taking the Investec Derby. See the Stars is a triumph for the sport of horse racing, and we salute a real, true champion.
He's an absolute top-notcher. Keen for about a furlong and a half, but soon had a good position. Sensibly ridden as though there was no doubt about his stamina. Made sure that a decent horse in Golden Sword wasn't given too much rope. Reeled him in gradually, didn't panic. He reeled him in gradually. He was always going to get him. And at the line, if you look, I know the challengers come. Rip Van Winkle's run a great race for Johnny Mercer. Fame and Glory, who's running not his unbeaten level, but has run up the score.
Running through my head, running through my head, running through my head. All the things you said, all the things you said, running through my head, running through my head. All the things you said, all the things you said is not enough. Let me serious, if you're totally lost, if I'm asking for help, it's only because I'm being with you. It's my ass, I gotta believe that you're perfect surprise.
He should take this third Group 1 race in a row. He's now 8 to 13. Still
Tango's going to be the last to go in front of a capacity crowd here at Sandown Park for the 2009 Coral Eclipse, and away they go. Rip Van Winkle just the last to leave the stalls. Lang Shining pressing on, set sail, as well as Malibu Bay. The pacemakers are 1, 2 and 3. See the Stars sits in fourth. The yellow jacket Mick Cannan. Still Tango's out wide of Jukebox Jury, followed by Twice Over and Rip Van Winkle. Then Cima de Triomphe, and Conduit is at the rear of the field, and it's Conduit's stable companion Lang Shining in the hands of Richard Hughes that sets a pretty fast pace in the early stages, followed by one of the two Ballydoyle pacemakers. Set sail in second. They've probably gone off too quickly. The others are languishing behind. Back in third is Malibu Bay, about 6 lengths off the front pair. Steel Tango is fourth, followed by the Guineas and Derby winner See the Stars in fifth place. Then Jukebox Jury towards the outside then of Rip Van Winkle in the dark blue, the pink cap of Twice Over. Cima de Triomphe is second last, and still Ryan Moore waits at the back aboard Conduit. See the Stars having gone off the 7-4 on favourite. They're into the turn already, and it's blistering fractions from Lang Shining and Set Sail. They're 5 lengths clear of Malibu Bay. Then another 5 or 6 back to Steel Tango. See the Stars on the inside then from Jukebox Jury there. The yellow jacket See the Stars, followed by Rip Van Winkle. Jimmy Fortune in the dark blue stalking the favourite. Cima de Triomphe further back. Twice Over pushed along and Conduit, and now the pacemakers are likely to come back to the field, and they're going to start stopping in front. They're inside the 3. Lang Shining, Set Sail, Malibu Bay. The principal's pulling wide sensibly. Here comes See the Stars in the hands of Mick Cannan, and he's going to have to commit pretty early here as they run down inside the 2. See the Stars chased now by Rip Van Winkle, and here's Conduit the stare out wide under Ryan Moore unleashing his run. See the Stars will have to dig in. Rip Van Winkle, his old rival, is closing up on the Guineas and Derby winner inside the final furlong. See the Stars by half a length to Rip Van Winkle. He's beating off Rip Van Winkle. They race up to the line. See the Stars, his shining star. See the Stars wins the Eclipse from Rip Van Winkle, who gave it a great shout in third. Conduit, followed by Cima de Triomphe. Copybook ride here from Mick Cannan, who pulled wide off those pacemakers early in the home straight. The winning owner, Christopher Shoy, celebrating a third Group 1 of the season as See the Stars emulates Nashwan. Using all his experience here, he was rather obliged to hit the front a long way out. See the Stars was certainly tested. It was 2 furlongs from home where he was in front, and let's see it again here. See the Stars pulling out. There's Mick Cannan, a little look. He's got to avoid those pacemakers who are stopping quickly, John.
Yeah, you ask any of the young lads who they want to emulate, who they want to look like. If they don't say Frankie Dettori, they say this fellow here, Mick Cannan. He's aware to everything, 50 years old now, and all right, he's on the best horse, and I've got to say that in the end I think he's won fairly comfortably. Rip Van Winkle came there at one stage, but as soon as Mick picked his whip up, gave him one, and off he went again. He's a really good horse.
Where it's just you and me, nobody else, so we can be free. Nobody else, so we can be free. All the things you said, running through my head, running through my head, running through my head. All the things you said, all the things you said, running through my head, running through my head. All the things you said, all the things you said.
And they're off for the Juddmonte International Stakes. Master Craftsman got a bright start and is prominent early with George Bernard Shaw in the dark blue jacket. Set Sail in the white cap is out wide, and See the Stars through the first furlong is quite happy to take the trail from the Aidan O'Brien trained trio, and they've gone off at a brisk early exchange, and it's George Bernard Shaw who forces the pace, now tracked through by Set Sail. Master Craftsman follows his stable companions in third, and a couple of lengths to See the Stars, given a waiting ride by Mick Cannan, and he races with enthusiasm. Last of the quartet, the classic winner, tracking Master Craftsman and Johnny Murtagh. Go towards the end of 3.5 furlongs, and on the sharp end, George Bernard Shaw by a length and a half on Set Sail. They establish themselves about 4 lengths clear of Master Craftsman, and a couple of lengths to See the Stars. Beginning the swing back towards home, approaching halfway in the Juddmonte International. George Bernard Shaw and Set Sail. Master Craftsman seeking to follow in the footsteps of Rodrigo de Triano, the last horse to successfully step up from a mile to win the Juddmonte International. And See the Stars still last, observing from last position under Mick Cannan, who chases a third international success. Heads line up for home then. They quicken inside the last half-mile. Set Sail puts it up to George Bernard Shaw. Master Craftsman now easing onto the quarters of his stable companions and tracked all the time by See the Stars. And now Master Craftsman is to produce to lead. 2.5 furlongs to go. Kenan waiting in the wings on See the Stars, who's still pulling double down past the 2-pole. Murtaugh's gone for the whip here on Master Craftsman, and See the Stars now shaken up, goes after the leader. They've quickened right away from the pacemakers, and now pushers come to shove for See the Stars. What's the champion got left in the locker? Master Craftsman is galloping on strongly, passes the furlong, a length and a half clear. Now See the Stars is out after him and begins to bear down on Master Craftsman. See the Stars comes alongside Master Craftsman, eyeballs him and goes on, and it's 4 Group 1s, and See the Stars, a galaxy apart, wins the Juddmonte International. Master Craftsman in second, a long way clear of Set Sail and George Bernard Shaw.
They still can't do it. They cannot take See the Stars down. Moments of anxiety inside the final furlong as Master Craftsman responded generously to Johnny Murtaugh's urgings, but Mick Kinnan was probably a good deal cooler than most of the See the Stars fans that are packing the grandstand on the Knavesmire this afternoon. 4 straight Group 1s, Guineas, Derby, Eclipse, International, for a true champion of our time. See the Stars beats Master Craftsman in the International.
Ding ding, end of round 4. 4 cracks at See the Stars. Kilroe had this, the most alarming
Irish Champion Stakes. Looks in. And they're off. And Grand Ducal on the inside, Loch Long on the outer, Master Craftsman between them. Then See the Stars being ridden up on the outside of the leaders. To pick up the running now is Set Sail. So Set Sail takes over and goes a couple of lengths in front of Master Craftsman. Then comes Rockhampton racing up on the outside. Grand Ducal is 4th. They're followed by Loch Long and See the Stars. A break then to Fame and Glory, Casual Conquest and Lord Admiral. So up front it is in the inside, Set Sail, Joseph O'Brien, taken on by Rockhampton, Sean Levy, who now takes over to pick it up from Set Sail. They've gone 5-6 in front. Master Craftsman is 3rd. Grand Ducal is next. Loch Long and See the Stars race together. Just over 2 lengths to Fame and Glory. Lord Admiral and Casual Conquest heading now up towards the 5 mark. And Set Sail has regained the initiative on the inside for Joseph O'Brien to just head. Rockhampton, Sean Levy, they're well clear. Master Craftsman is running 3rd. Shamie Heffernan. In 4th is Grand Ducal. Tracking that quartet, then See the Stars, Loch Long, Fame and Glory, Lord Admiral, and then Casual Conquest. But it is Set Sail who's 6 lengths in front. Rockhampton, Master Craftsman, Grand Ducal. They're being followed by Fame and Glory now, who races up on the outside of See the Stars. And as they race now on the approach to the straight, Set Sail is the leader from Master Craftsman. Fame and Glory is now tracked by See the Stars, and Fame and Glory has raced up to join Master Craftsman, being chased by See the Stars in 3rd. They are clear. It's Fame and Glory, Johnny Murtagh in front. See the Stars and Mick Kinnan ranging up on the near side, and See the Stars, they've come to see a star, and it's See the Stars who hits the front for Michael Kinnan and John Oakes, and racing up towards the finish, the undisputed champion. See the Stars is running away. He's got to score by 2.5 lengths. Wins a and Glory second, Master
Mixed up, feeling cold and rushed. They say it's my fault, but I want it so much. Wanna fly away, but the sun and the rain coming over my face, wash away all the shame. When I stop and stare, don't worry me, cause I'm feeling for her what she's feeling for me. I can try to pretend, I can try to forget, but it's driving me mad.
And See the Stars wins the Guineas.
See the Stars will complete the Guineas and Derby double.
See the Stars is answering the call.
See the Stars and Mick Kinnan ranging up on the near side, and it's See the Stars who hits the front.
See the Stars has to dig deeper. He accelerates. It's See the Stars. He's coming away. Leader, Derby winner, strikes the front.
The undisputed champion, See the Stars has run it away.
And See the Stars, a galaxy apart.
The spotted jacket of Stasalita. That's it, they're off and running in the arc. And away to a good start too. And on the outside, Stasalita, one of the first away, set sail, going very fast in the early stages. And up there too is Dare Me and Vision d'Etat. Just in behind them is See the Stars. Settles in a beautiful position, about fifth on the inside. One off the rail. Going forward now, Grand Ducal to put on pace. Further back is La Boom. And then on the outside is Cavalryman trying to get across. Further back in the field is Zain, followed then by Getaway. And back there is Berestam. Conduit is right there in the centre in the light jacket. Well back in the field too in the early stages. At this stage is Hot Six, followed then by Magadan. And See the Stars has just lost a little bit of ground there as they head down the side. And as they settle fully into stride, it's Grand Ducal who's out in front by 2 lengths to Stasalita, who's got over beautifully. In third is their Conduit the outside from Dare Me in the pink jacket the inside. Berestam is further back in the field, followed then in the centre by Fame and Glory. Conduit behind them, the light jacket, then See the Stars, yellow and purple right there, bang in the centre, followed then by Getaway. Back in the field too at this stage, out wide is Magadan, giving them a long start, preceded by the Bogbury La Boom. Then Zain smothered up on the fence, but set sail with 6 furlongs to go, is 4 or 5 lengths clear of the stablemate Grand Ducal. Then about 8 lengths to Stasalita, Dare Me. The outside Cavalryman has got over close, followed then by Vision d'Etat. And these leaders are getting right away from them as they pass the 1,000-metre mark, 5 furlongs from home. Further back is Berestam, followed in the centre by Fame and Glory and a nice posse. They're followed then by, back in the field at this stage, Conduit. See the Stars on the inside of runners, and about 6th of that group, that third group, followed further back in the field then by Hot Six and the Bogbury, giving them a long start. They race towards the turn in the arc, and the leaders are a long way clear. Set sail, and also on the outside, the other one, Grand Ducal. They're about 5 in front now of Stasalita. He's getting up on the inside on See the Stars. He's got 6 or 7 lengths to make up. He'll have to be a champion. Stasalita races into the lead now. 2 in front. He is a champion, I reckon. He's got the run now in the centre. He's out after the leader. He picks up Stasalita. He powers clear. See the Stars racing away. Perfection in equine form. A horse of a lifetime. He's just going to go on and win the arc by 2 lengths. Tight second. Cavalryman, Zain, Conduit out wide. Behind them, Dare Me, Stasalita. Further back then is Fame and Glory. Followed then by Tanga Speed, and they were followed by Vision d'Etat, then La Boom, Magadan, then the Bogbury behind them. Getaway there. Berestan well back, Tullamore, then Grand Ducal and Set Sail and Steel Tango. But here they are crossing the line. See the Star as they come now, and we see the winner there. See the Stars. See the Stars pulling up there, and there they are. See the Stars. I said in the call he'd have to be a champion. He is. And Zain looks like he has been second for the 3rd time. Cavalryman on the inside. Near side is Conduit. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in 5 is Dare Me. Then further back in the purple cap is the Irish Derby winner, Fame and Glory. Had every chance to the turn, and they were followed then by, on the inside, Stasalita, and further back then is La Boom, followed further back by Magadan, Vision d'Etat, crossing the line quickly. There's Getaway, the Bogbury, there's Hot Six, Tullamore, and those leaders, those two, Grand Ducal and Set Sail, they got so far ahead. But Mick Cannan, his 3rd Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe victory, and on a horse of a lifetime, a horse who had to make up his ground. He did it so quickly. See the Stars, a 6-4 on favourite, UK prices, and has paid 5-4 on the Perry Mutual. Second Zain at 20-1. Third Cavalryman, 12-1.
Straightforward. It really wasn't. Richard Hughes and Willie Carson can talk this through from the jockey's point of view.
Well, there you have him in front, so that is okay there. He's not pulling, he's relaxed, and
There, he's just started to pull now.
Yeah, it looks like no one really wants to go on. Jimmy doesn't really want to go on. Murtagh really doesn't want to go on.
Went past him.
Yeah, and they've ignored the pacemaker, that's the problem. And all of a sudden now they get to the brow of the hill and the pace is slow up.
He's just started to take a pull now, and Mick's just saying, no, I don't want you to go. And of course he's resisting it. His head went up in the air, and he's sort of taken a little bit of time to get, find his rhythm.
That's exactly right, and also there's horses going by him, and the jockeys have Mick tight, and they'll be brushing off him and banging him, and Mick is trying to settle him. Very difficult when they're going so slow.
Usually, in a race of this quality, if any horse pulls this hard early on, you can write off its chances.
Yeah, like, the first thing you want to do in any race is get rhythm and relax, and Mick is just on it. He can't get him to drop it, but he can't sacrifice his position. He needs to hold that rail.
And it was very interesting that Mick Canaan never went onto the rail there. He always left a space up the inner because he was trying to keep his options open. But he's got him now, but he's still hard on the brow. Oh, he just had to come off heels there a little bit.
And how much are you looking at the colours in front of you, thinking, OK, that's Vision d'Etat, that's fine, Fame and Glory's there, I can see Conduit on my left, can't see Yumzain because he's behind me. You know, how much are you thinking, have I got horses that will stop in front of me, or have I got horses that will keep going?
You know exactly what will take you into the race, the 2-pole or 2.5 pole, get you there far enough. See, I'm just trying to go Mick's inner there.
And he's Mick said, I'm having that, you're not getting up there. And that just interfered with his rhythm. He's actually lost his rhythm, and he's had to go and get him now.
Yeah, he just switched around the two pacemakers there, and you can see Mickey's just come alive under him now, and now all Mick has to do is keep him going.
But it's nice to be sitting in the horse when a gap appears. He says go, and you get that instant acceleration. It's a lovely feeling.
Well, it's nice to have the horse to do it. The good ones do, and sometimes the gaps go quicker when you're on a slow.
The gaps close before you can get there. But on this guy, the gaps were filled by him.
You could almost see the grimace on Mick Canaan's face when he really asked him to go, when he had to get through that gap and say, come on, now's the moment. You've pulled too hard. This hasn't been a great race. We haven't had it smooth, but now you've got to prove it. Are you the greatest I've ever sat on? Yes, you are. Go on. That is one of the greatest sporting performances in any field, in any part of the world that you will ever see. And Willie Carson there offering his congratulations to the Ox team, because it is the Chinese year of the Ox, but it is the year of See the Stars. What a performance. He pulled so hard early on. The pacemakers went so far clear, he lost his position, he had to angle out, he had to quicken, and we were watching it thinking, no way, this can't happen, no horse can do this. Look at this again, because that was just an extraordinary
Well,
performance.
I was very, very worried in the first 2 furlongs. Was after we'd gone a furlong up, you could see Mick Canaan was having, the old man, he was having trouble getting his horse back, getting him to settle. He's such a cold horse, yet when he jumps out of the stalls, he comes alive and he pulls. And I thought then that he was going to use up too much petrol, but Mick took him back, got him relaxed, and he was a little bit further back than possibly he wanted. But he's got so much ability, this horse could take the gaps when they appeared. And that is the secret why Mick has got to the front, because he's got so much petrol in the tank. A great, great horse we've just seen. Things haven't gone right for him, and he has still won the race.
Incredible. There's applause here in the paddock for Yumzain, who finishes second for the 3rd year in a row and runs another amazing race in the Arc. He saves his best form for here, but this is a complete superstar, and he has been handled with so much patience and so much excellence by John Ox, his trainer. Unbelievable, unbelievable to keep a horse on the go at Group 1 level and to keep improving, because I think that's an improved performance. There is John Ox now. He had to have been worried in the first one, as you
we all were worried. But
and you went over to offer your congratulations.
Kath,
yeah.
Oh, she's in tears.
Oh, brilliant.
That's Mick's wife. Well, I think Mick must be getting close to it now. Well, I'm a bit out of breath myself thinking about things. I don't think he hit him with a stick, did he?
He gave him a belt when he got to the front just to make sure, but what a nice school ride. Mick Canaan, you know, on the big day, he's absolutely brilliant. He was in a horrible position. He knew the pacemakers were coming back. They just
did hit him
in
there.
time.
Yes, he did hit him.
He wasn't going away.
Oh, what a lovely horse. But this thing about him coming out the stalls and going like he attacks the race like a sprinter.
We can see the reaction here of John Ox. We saw the emotion that he feels for this horse and the piece that Rishi did with him. And he is, you know, he's not a man who jumps and shouts and gets excited, but my word, this means the world. This horse means the world to him.
Well, I think we've possibly seen one of the best horses ever to...
Possibly?
Well...
Take the possibly out. That's his owner, Christopher Choi. We may have seen the greatest ever. We've definitely seen one of the greatest.
And it's probably the best training performance ever. To keep this horse on the go all year, he said it's very hard for 3-year-olds from the spring right up until now to keep them sweet and happy.
Definitely,
and he's done a marvellous job.
That is a very proud man, happy man. There's an even happier person saluting the crowd, which is not in Mick's normal demeanour to do this sort of thing. He's very calm and when he wins big races, and he keeps his emotions to himself. But there you go, there's a little bit of a
relief.
Relief. There's the young owner, the 29-year-old, 27-year-old. Mick Canaan showing his emotions. I love the comment from Mick Canaan when he said, when he first sat on this horse, I couldn't believe my luck that I was sitting on a horse as good as this in 49th year.
Well, let's hear from the winning trainer, John Ox, as with Rishi now.
John, how's your heart?
Still beating fairly slowly, I think.
What? You must be joking.
But it's just a great relief, you know. It's wonderful that it's over and that he's come through it. He had a nice position. He was always travelling strongly. He had to have the gears to get out.
John, you're making it sound so easy, because I was watching with many experts, racing experts. They were going insane, saying, what's he going to do? How's he going to get out there? Everyone was panicking.
Yeah, well, you see, Mick wouldn't panic because this horse has the gears. You know, that's what any jockey will tell you. If the horse has the speed and the gears, he'll get himself out of trouble. So, you know, we were not too alarmed at any stage.
Racing legend.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Well done, John. Go and welcome him.
Thank you.
Yes, he is a racing legend. He goes into the Roll of Honour beside Rebo, Seabird, Dancing Brave, Mill Reef. A great performance. Stars. He's got 6 or 7 lengths to make up. He'll have to be a champion. He is a champion, I reckon. See the Stars racing away. Perfection in equine form. A horse of a lifetime. Keep your clever line.
In October this year, the Irish horse See the Stars proved himself one of the greatest racehorses of all time. He and jockey Mick Canaan capped a phenomenal season by striding to victory in the Prix de Triomphe in Paris. Winning 6 classic Group 1 races, including the 2000 Guineas and the English Derby in the 1 year, is something no other horse has ever achieved. Owned by Hong Kong businessman Christopher Choi, the 3-year-old colt was trained by leading Irish horse trainer John Ox. On See the Stars' last day in the stables, I was lucky enough to meet him.
Here he is. He's always looking out. He's a very inquisitive horse. He's very Irish, you know. He wants to look out all the time, afraid he'd miss something. So,
wow,
oh boy.
How exciting.
Well, there he is. Say hello now.
He's a nice temperament.
He has. But you want to always watch a colt, you know. Nice temperament is all very fine, but they'll still take a nip out of you just for fun. But he's lovely.
It's very thrilling to be able to even touch him.
Yeah, well, he's a terrific specimen of a thoroughbred, you know. He's the perfect horse. He's big and strong and athletic and beautifully proportioned, has great balance and movement. You know, he walks and trots like a ballet dancer.
See the Stars was born in 2006 at the Irish National Stud. His father was Cape Cross, his mother Urban C, herself a winner in the Arc de Triomphe. At 18 months of age, he came here to John Ox's yard, Currabeg, where his remarkable story began.
We knew we had a nice horse. We knew he was a classic contender, as we'd call him, horse for the Derby, we thought, and maybe the 2,000 guineas.
Slowly, Alex, slowly.
Of course, we didn't know he was going to win all these races and be as good as he was. You never know that. So it was a nerve-wracking time enough, first of all, to see if he would measure up, of course.
But it's only when he started winning that you really got it.
That's it. They can all have all the potential in the world, but you know, there's only one test, and that's the battle.
Yeah.
That's the racecourse test. They've got to live up to it and come through them. And in his case, to be one of the greats, he had to win all his races. He couldn't lose one, you know.
So what is it that makes one horse truly great? What separates him from the rest?
First of all, he's got height.
Yes.
He's 16, 2.5. He's a fine big horse. He's got this great range. He's a tremendous length from where the girth is right to his ears. But then he's got tremendous muscles. He's real big, strong quarters, you know, if you want to put your hand on him there.
I mean,
this
is the muscle
big,
really
big second thigh, you call that. And this muscle here, it's huge in him, you know, so all this power behind, he really drives his hind legs in under him when he's galloping, you know.
And the difference between the physicality of a horse like this and what's inside his head and his personality, because he does have a kind of curiosity and a calmness to him that is quite remarkable.
He has a great calmness. I think that's been part of his public appeal, actually. People have watched him in the parade before the race, and he's just walked around as quite
a cool customer,
cool customer, you know, ready for what's ahead, just completely brave, you know, no fear.
The signal's given and away they bounce.
And what was ahead was an intense season of 6 top-level races in 6 short months.
See the Stars comes after him.
A lot of people wouldn't realise what a tough test that is for a young horse, for a 3-year-old to come through that. The breeding of the thoroughbred is based on that test, that they have to have the precocity to be developed enough as 3-year-olds to run in these classic races and come through them.
See the Stars, the champion he is, strides to glory.
That's what the whole breeding of the thoroughbred over 300 years has been based on, those tests.
The trainer is also tested. With each race, the stakes got bigger and people's expectations increased.
You're hoping to add to his reputation and not lose anything. So every day is a risk to some extent, but you can't be afraid of that. You know, if you're afraid of losing, you'll be afraid to get out of bed in the morning. So you can never fear that.
When you were up in the stands at the Arc and his other 5 races, are you screaming? Are you shouting?
No, I'm quiet. I just watch it and don't shout.
Everyone, how's the heart?
Well, your heart would be beating pretty fast. All right, it is a bit nerve-wracking, but you know, there's nothing you can do. You get philosophical as you get older. I don't get as nervous as I used to get. But with See the Stars, I must admit, it was a bit different. Everybody wanted him to win, you know, and he's running for everybody, you know, and you'd hate to see people disappointed.
For a horse to reach its full potential, it's important that they're in capable hands.
John is a master of his craft. He is a very patient man. He's not a man who rushes his horses. He's not looking to win the first race of the season. He does everything with the horse's welfare in mind. John just produced this horse in pristine condition every time.
Now retired, the greatest champion of his day will be in huge demand to sire the champions of tomorrow. See the Stars will stand at Giltown, the Aga Khan stud farm in Kildare. So this is like the Ritz-Carlton of studs. This is incredible. Nice place to retire to, anyway.
Comfortable surroundings for him. So this is where he'll be.
It's huge as well, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's a normal stable, other than the dimensions of it would be greater than you would get in a normal stable. It's not always the case that fabulous racehorses make fabulous stallions, but the horse's credentials are just impeccable. He really does tick every box.
Ireland is the 3rd biggest producer of thoroughbred foals in the world. At stud, See the Stars will command fees of €85,000 per mare, a welcome boost to an industry that employs over 20,000 people here in Ireland.
There will be mares coming from America, there will be mares coming from Europe. It's remarkable for the industry and very, very important. It now goes to stud here in Ireland. Our industry has the same difficulties that all other businesses have, and it's a difficult time for it. This is a great sort of shot in the arm for the business that he is going to stand here. I just look forward to the next 20, 30 years and seeing his name appearing in pedigrees of good horses for the next couple of decades.
See the Stars will leave behind some good friends at Currabeg Stables, not least those who worked with him on a daily basis.
You know, he's going to a good place and he'll be getting the best of the ladies coming to see him, so he'll be grand.
Got a life of pleasure ahead, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like not having him every morning to look after?
It'll be hard. It'll be hard because he's so used to, you know, coming up around the corner there and seeing him there and waiting for, you know, waiting for his apples and his grass, like, you know, and you know, it's going to be, it's going to be, you know, hard when you come around the corner. He's not there.
He's going off to a beautiful place, beautiful farm, and lovely big paddock, and plenty of trees, and lots of grass, and
lots of women ahead of him.
Lots of, yes, a whole harem ahead, and beautiful stable for him, and a wonderful place. So he deserves it, obviously, and I hope he has a long, happy life.
See the Stars on the near side for Mick Cannan from Delegator, and See the Stars wins a 4th Guineas for Mick Cannan.
See the Stars will complete the Guineas and Derby double.
See the Stars has to dig deeper. He accelerates. It's See the Stars. He's coming away. A stellar April. Goes on to become a champion.
See the Stars comes alongside Master Craftsman, eyeballs him and goes on. And it's 4 Group 1s and See the Stars, a galaxy apart, wins the Juddmonte International.
And in a matter of strides, See the Stars goes on to fame and glory. And Master Craftsman, See the Stars, poetry in motion.
See the Stars has without doubt been the superstar of this year's flat season. A Group 2 winner as a juvenile, he remains unbeaten in 5 Group 1s at 3, notching up a brace of classics with race and track records to boot. Trainer John Ox took time to reprise the campaign to date and explained how he always looked a class apart from the very start.
He was foaled in the National Stud and reared there, where his dam has been stationed for a few years, and I went to see him there. I'd had some horses for the owners before, and so they asked me to go and look at him, that they weren't going to sell him and wanted to keep him, which I thought was could be dangerous. You know, he was worth a lot of money. Could have got a lot of money for him as a yearling. Obviously he'd have topped any sale, but obviously I was still very happy to have a horse like that. And he looked beautiful, you know, right from the start. He was a lovely yearling, big, strong, well put together horse, you know, lovely action, had everything, you know. And when we got him then, he was easy to break and did everything perfectly all his life. He was a real standout specimen all along. We didn't soup him up as a 2-year-old, as I've said before. We didn't, you know, have him really worked up for his first race. We expect him to run well. If he had had a clear run in the race, he would have won. He just got stopped. He was getting going and getting the hang of things when he just had to take a pull, and you know, he missed his run. So that got him beaten. But we were happy, very happy with the run, and we knew he'd improve a lot for that run. It's never any harm to be beaten first time out, because you then go into a maiden race when you can win on your second start, and then when you take the jump to better company, at least you have 2 runs under your belt rather than 1. So we certainly weren't disappointed to see him beaten the first time.
See the Stars lost the maiden tag second time out at Leopardstown before taking on classy rivals in the Group 2 Beresford Stakes, one of which was stable companion Moraine.
We had a clear idea which was the better horse, and wasn't much between them on the day. Ground was a bit dead, which we were fortunate enough to have at the time. We had, you remember, it was a very, very wet summer and autumn, and we had heavy ground all the time, and that was one little oasis of decent enough ground that we got the chance to run, and we were very lucky. But you know,
it was fine. The ground was fine, and he was able to win the Beresfords, and we were happy with 3 runs under his belt. As I said, we didn't want to soup him up too much as a 2-year-old. We knew his 3-year-old year was going to be the important one, and we were happy to stop at that.
3 runs under the belt and a winter's growth on his back. See the Stars came into 2009 as an exciting package of untapped potential.
With this debate, you know, we didn't really soup him up, as I say, as a 2-year-old, so we hadn't put the gun to his head too much. So we weren't absolutely sure what his wheel distance requirements would be. So we went into the 3-year-old year a little bit unknown, you know, with a lot of things unknown, and we knew he had done well and he was in great form in the springtime and had come forward nicely, but we had to test him a little bit to see if he definitely had the speed for the Guineas. I was very keen to give him his chance in the Guineas, because I felt that being by Cape Cross he wasn't sure to stay at all, and that there was no point in saying, you know, just because he's a brother to Galileo that he's a Derby horse and we should train him for that. You know, you can pigeonhole them too quickly, too easily, too early, and so I was keen we give him his chance in the Guineas, and it had to be the Newmarket race, because you couldn't guarantee that at the Curragh you'd have the ground. As it turned out, it was very wet for the Irish Guineas again. So we had to put him to the test, and of course Arizan was there in sparkling form early in the year and working well. They worked a few times together, not all the time, but a few times together. But we were a bit impeded by some wet weather when we really wanted to give him a strong bit of work. The ground was soft, and he disappointed a little bit a week before the Guineas on soft ground. Threw us off a little bit for a few days, but we felt he was, you know, he was a Guineas horse. We felt going into the race that he'd be in the firing line. You know, weren't sure whether he could win, because, you know, it was early days in his career and he wasn't the finished article, but we felt he'd be in the shake-up, and of course, as it turned out, he was even better than that, you know.
A scintillating performance in the 2000 Guineas advertised a possession of speed, but Ox explained that it hadn't all been plain sailing in the build-up to the first run of the season.
He had a temperature on the 17th of March, 103, the temperature, viral infection, which is the last thing you'd want, so it says a lot for his constitution that he could recover quickly from that. Not many horses would win the Guineas on the, whatever it was, the 2nd of May, having had a temperature on the 17th of March. Depends what the temperature is caused by, but when it's a viral infection, it usually takes them longer to regain their form. So only special horses will have the constitution to bounce back after that and win a Group 1 race on their first start of the year. So that was a big signal to us that if he could do that, he had an exceptional
Constitution and class confirmed. See the Stars now had to prove he possessed stamina as well as speed, characteristics he was able to bring together in the Derby, given the tepid tempo of the race.
Well, of course, he was the fastest horse in the race, so it certainly didn't harm him, but I don't think there is a stamina issue with the horse, you know, and I don't think it would have mattered really at all. He won comfortably, and I don't think it would have mattered, you know. The faster the pace, the easier he travels, you know. When the others are struggling to go the pace, he's going easier than anything. So I don't think so. But as it turned out, of course, the Derby worked out very well. It was a very smooth race for him, and everything fell into place very nicely. We didn't have too many anxious moments. It was great to watch. If you were involved with See the Stars, it was a great race to watch. I tell you, it was so simple and straightforward, you know. I was delighted once he settled a bit, once we got over the first 2 furlongs and the position he was in and the way he was travelling, the way he came down the hill. There was a lovely shot on the TV of him coming down the hill upsides Kitewood, and, you know, gosh, he was travelling very well, and when you saw him go travelling like that down into the straight around Tattenham Corner, you'd have to be pretty confident, you know.
After Sindar's victory in the year 2000, See the Stars provided Ox with a second Derby victory, both classics having been contrasting in their respective build-ups.
We were looking forward to Sindar's race. We thought he had a great chance, but, you know, he was 8-1 or 7-1 or something, you know. He was going there as 4th favourite, and we were very hopeful. Of course, it was nerve-wracking enough, as it always is. This was there was more anxiety over this because he was the favourite, he was the Guineas winner, and you know, there was an element of worry about the trip and about everything, as there always is. And but there was a lot more anxiety, so it was a bigger relief. You know, it was tremendously exciting when Sindar won. We couldn't believe it. You know, it was just sort of, we were stunned when it happened. With this fellow, there was just tremendous relief that, you know, he'd come through, and of course he came through with such style. It was terrific, you know. But yeah, you get that feeling of relief when it's over.
The first horse in 20 years to complete the Guineas Derby double, Ox expressed frustration in not being able to take up his next and more favoured target in the Irish Derby due to unsuitable soft ground.
The Irish Derby means a lot to us, and obviously we were looking forward to it. It looked like the weather forecast was in our favour, and then it changed, and particularly on the Friday night, just that heavy burst of rain before racing finished us, really. So that was disappointing. I was annoyed about that, but that's the way you have to accept it. But it worked out great in the end. You know, it was great to run in the Eclipse Stakes. It worked out in the horse's favour in the end, because he had the chance to take on the older horses, and the way the race was run, he had the chance to record the fast time. It did more for the horse in the end, really. Yeah. And it was a great day. You know, a lovely, nice warm day, big crowd. Everybody enjoyed the day, and it was the public really appreciated the horse, and it worked out terribly well, you know.
When pressed by Rip Van Winkle up Sandown's Hill, See the Stars was able to pull out that little bit extra and claim victory in a fashion not unexpected by his trainer.
He just does enough, you know. Mick says he'll never win any race by much more than a length, you know. He just does enough. He's not a horse who'll you know, quicken up and go 5 lengths ahead. As we were walking over to leg him up and with the Eclipse, I said to him, now if everything's going well and he's winning and he's going well, and just give him an extra couple of cracks, and, you know, make him stretch out, win by a few lengths, 4 lengths, show him off a little bit. And he said, you must be joking. He said, this fellow will never win anything by much more than 1 length, he said. So, you know, that'll do. So we'll be happy with that. And that's how it worked out. But that's it, you know. Some people will say, oh, he's not winning by far enough, you know. But that's it. Some horses will do that, and some horses won't, you know. A lot of good horses never get their recognition because they never win by much. Azamor was a very good horse a few years ago that I had, and he'd never win by much, you know. He'd ease up when he got to the front, you know. He always had to come from behind too, and he'd get stuck in traffic, and he lost a few races maybe that went against him, but when he did win, he never quite got the recognition he deserved because of that, you know. He just wouldn't stretch 3 or 4 lengths clear.
Victory at York in the Juddmonte International and at Leopardstown in the Irish Champion Stakes ensured a perfect record this season. And with all targets successfully hit thus far, Ox alluded to the gruelling regime that befalls a top-class horse during his classic campaign.
He's a race every month, you know. It's a tough regime for him. We're asking him a lot. You know, the Guineas in May, the Derby in June, the Eclipse in July, the International in August, the Champion Stakes in September. So he doesn't get a break, you know, but we got the chance to take the foot off the pedal after the Irish Derby by missing the King George. He just stopped fast work, but he cantered every day for 3 weeks, and then he started fast work again for York. So there's no real break, you know, there's no holiday. He just keeps up his routine. So it's a test. People who say that, you know, flat horses are mollycoddled and they're rushed off the stud, they don't know how tough it is for a classic 3-year-old to come through the spring, the winter, the spring, you know, meet all his engagements, win his races, train in between, arrive there every day for a big race. You know, people don't realise how tough that is, you know, and that's why very few come through and can do it.
See the Stars is going to win the Guineas and Derby double.
It's been quite a year for John Ox and See the Stars, thanks to victories in the 2000 Guineas and the Epsom Derby. His performances to date have been simply out of this world.
He's been pretty special so far. Certainly he was special from the time he came into the yard. He was, beautiful looking horse right from the start, really attractive looking yearling, great pedigree. Being a half-brother to Galileo, people obviously had great hopes right from the start, particularly when you looked at him and you saw what a smashing individual he was. So we always thought highly of him, and we were always looking forward to the day he'd run, make his racecourse debut, and he has never disappointed us.
The master of Currabeg finally broke his Irish Derby duck with Sindar in 2000. He followed up the feat with another win with the Lampshire 3 years later.
Inside the last 150 yards now, Alamshire on the near side of Dalakani. It's Alamshire for John Ox and Johnny Murta as the race towards the line. Alamshire's going to win it as they go to the line. Alamshire wins a 1-2 for the Aga Khan.
John, this is a pretty special stable, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it's been a lucky stable more by accident than anything else. We had Sindar in here in his year, 2000, and it's a nice sheltered row of boxes here, so I usually we put the promising 3-year-olds along here, but the lads always seem to put the horse they think might be the Derby horse into this box. It wasn't particularly my plan, but it's the way it works out. So we've had Sindar, and then we had Alamshire, of course, who was a great Derby winner too, and King George winner. So now this fellow won the Guineas and the Derby. We'll see what else he can do, but it's been a good box in the last decade.
The big threat this weekend comes once again from Aidan O'Brien, who's won this race for the last 3 years running.
He's had some great winners in it. He always has a lot of runners in it. He's a lot of horses that suit the Derbies, and he usually floods the field with runners, good runners too. So he'll be hard to beat.
Are you confident that maybe you can beat him again this time around?
Well, I suppose he's a favourite's chance. He has to have good, fast ground. We're not in a panic. We don't have to run him. He can run the Eclipse Stakes the following Saturday if things don't work out with the ground. But hopefully the forecast looks more in our favour than not, and hopefully he'll be able to turn up in good shape and ready to do himself justice.
If you're looking for omens, 2009 is the Chinese Year of the Ox. But when you have a horse of this calibre, who needs superstition?
Pat, after an outstanding racing career, See the Stars is let down into an outstanding looking stallion.
Yes, as you can see, he's a stronger horse now, obviously, than when he retired to stud. He's actually over 100 kilos heavier now. But he's still a very active horse, likes to do work still, so we still give him a bit of lunging before he goes out in his paddock every day, and always very active, takes a very keen interest in what's going on around him, and in that respect, he's very similar to what he was like when he was in training.
Had some brilliant mares in his first book, including the Japanese horse Vodka, who now has a colt at foot.
Yeah, indeed. She foaled in early May, had a fine big colt for a maiden mare, and he'll grow into a fine horse. He's big, but he'll make a fine colt, and she's back and foal to him again.
He's just finished covering his second book now. Tell us about some of the mares that he had to in this year.
Yeah, we've another excellent book of mares again. Really happy with the quality of the mares that he's been given. He's getting a great chance from breeders, and it'll take a few more years before we know how they're going to do. But we've seen the first crop on the ground now this year, and there's an awful lot to look forward to.
His racing career was nothing short of amazing, although he didn't win his first time out.
No, very often with John Ox's 2-year-olds, he will use their first run at the course as education. Always, if they're good enough, they'll win, but they will always improve an awful lot for the first run.
John, See the Stars was an amazing racehorse. What were your first impressions when he arrived at your yard?
But he was a beautiful horse. He's a perfect yearling. Really well made, big, strong, but beautifully proportioned. And
my first reaction was, my God, why didn't they sell him, put him in the sales and get a few million for him? You know, they're taking a big risk putting him in training, and all sorts of things could go wrong. But thank goodness they made that decision.
Well, yeah, put him into work and he races a 2-year-old. When did you realise how good he was?
Well, from day one he looked smart. He had great ability and tremendous presence, beautiful action, perfect horse to look at, and perfect temperament. So from the first bit of fast work he did, he looked good. But of course, you know, how good you wouldn't have any idea until you start to race a horse like that. And so many horses are promising but don't deliver on the track. You never know until you put the gun to their head and test them. And of course, he came through every test. He just got better and better every time he went out. He was, you know, he never reached his limit. He always won comfortably, and it was just the whole thing was a bit of a dream, really.
When you brought him into work for his 3-year-old season, it was an amazing season for him, 6 Group 1s in 6 months. What went through your mind?
I just felt so privileged to have him, you know, first of all, that we had a feeling that he could be, you know, one of the real tops of recent years to begin with. We thought that. Of course, then when he won the Guineas nicely after an interrupted preparation, and then went on and won the Derby, and Mick Kinane whispered to me in the winner's enclosure, you know, this is one of the greats. Well, then it became a responsibility. You know, we knew we had something really special, and that you know, we knew he had the constitution to take on all these races. You know, most horses you wouldn't attempt to win the 6 in 6 months. You know, most of them would need a little break along the way. But we knew this fellow had the physical and mental constitution to take in a sequence of races at the top level. So then it became a responsibility, of course, a huge responsibility, to make sure that he won every race and that nothing went wrong, and you know, that we got to the end without a hiccup. And I can tell you it was some relief when he went past the line in the arc.
As his trainer, were you feeling a lot of pressure as all those wins were gaining momentum and he kept going out and getting better and better?
Well, you do, I suppose, a bit. I wouldn't normally feel it, you know, but with this horse there was pressure because, you know, we knew he was one of the greats, and I was just anxious that nothing went wrong and that we didn't muck it up, you know, and that nothing stupid happened to ruin everything. So I was anxious. You know, I wouldn't normally anymore get too nervous or anxious before big races, but with this fellow I was very keen that his record would remain intact and that he could take his rightful place among the greats.
John Ox is quoted as saying he's the perfect racing machine, and at this point in thoroughbred breeding, after 300 years, has arrived.
Well, I think that tells you how highly John viewed him. But indeed, I mean, he had it all. He was an exceptional horse. He was one of these horses that won by a significant distance, but he didn't have to. He had a jockey, Mick Kinane, who had absolute confidence in him. And I think he always knew that he had his opposition covered and that there was no need to win by 10 if you can win by 2 and save a bit for the next day.
He's a very lucky horse in the surrounds he's blessed with here in Giltown. It's an amazing looking property.
It's a beautiful farm. Any time of the year, winter or summer, it is a lovely place. And it's a fitting place for See the Stars to stand at stud.
So now I guess we sit back and wait and look forward to his winners.
Well, that's it. You know, it takes a bit of time to get from one stage of their career to the next one. But it's interesting watching the foals develop, and that will certainly be something to look forward to before they make the racetrack.
And with the quality of mares he's getting, it's every likelihood that we might be seeing another superstar in the making in the not too distant future.
Well, we hope so. But as we know, outstanding success on the racetrack does not automatically mean outstanding success at stud. He's been given a great chance, and breeders have certainly taken a view that he has all the credentials to make a very, very good stallion, and we just have to see what happens.
That's it, they're off and running in the arc. And away to a good start too. And on the outside, Stasolito. Just in behind them is See the Stars, settles in a beautiful position, about 5th on the inside, 1 off the rail, going forward now. See the Stars has just lost a little bit of ground there as they head down to the light jacket, then See the Stars, yellow and purple, right there, bang in the centre. On this stage, Conduit, See the Stars on the inside of runners, and about 6th of that. They race towards the turn in the arc, and the leaders are a long way clear. Set Sail, and also on the outside, the other one, Grand Ducal. They're about 5 in front now of Stasolita. He's getting up on the inside of See the Stars. He's got 6 or 7 lengths to make up. He'll have to be a champion. Stasolita races into the lead now. 2 in front. He is a champion, I reckon. He's got the run now in the centre. He's out after the leader. He picks up Stasolita. He powers clear. See the Stars racing away. Perfection in equine form. A horse of a lifetime. He's just going to go on. And with the...
That is one of the greatest sporting performances in any field, in any part of the world that you will ever see.
I said in the call he'd have to be a champion. He is.
Great horse we've just seen.
Absolutely brilliant.
We may have seen the greatest ever. It is the Chinese year of the ox, but it is the year of See the Stars.
Yes, he is a racing legend.
I think we've possibly seen one of the best horses ever.
We've definitely seen one of the greatest. But this is a complete superstar.